This is Abe Friedtanzer from Awards Buzz. So excited speaking with Ayelet Zurer about Daredevil Born Again. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. It's nice to be talking about this show and this world again. How does it feel to return to this character that you played a while ago?
It is amazing because it's like slipping into shoes you wore for quite a while. So they're comfy and soft, and you know what you're doing. And yet there's a lot of new stuff and uh, new things to do with the character. So it's been and it is great fun.
How was the experience different just in terms of the filming and just the tone of the show?
Well, I think there are similarities between the shows, I feel, particularly when I watch them. I don't know if I feel the same when I actually film it because it's a different vibe on set, I think. New team, of course. Mm, but it's still New York, and there's roughness to it, and the rough edges, and the stunts, and the characters are the same, a little bit more mature, I'd say. There's a depth to the genre, which is why I love the show. It succeeds in keeping the narrative of the comics, but actually has a little bit of poetic sense to it, which I love.
Also just interesting to see, as Fisk is trying to go and be more, straight and, legal, we think, to see how Vanessa navigates that, because watching them in therapy is definitely interesting. And I think by the end of the season, we get a very different picture of what we thought could have been a new start for the two of them that is definitely not happening at all.
Well, yeah, I think the writer is playing a little bit with perspective and how the audience perceives evil or bad people, or nemesis. And um, yes, and I think she's definitely evolved in new ways. I particularly love the the scenes in the therapy office. I feel like they're giving the characters so much depth and humor that we maybe just roughly like touched before, but now we're really digging into it. I love that, and I had so much fun uh, doing them actually.
Talking about the perspective, I think definitely, especially when Vanessa, we think sends someone to kill Fisk, and then it turns out that's not actually what's happening. But Foggy's death at the very start of the show is a very important event that's again sets this dark tone. And now that we know about Vanessa's role in that, even though she's not the one who pulled the trigger herself, does that feel like there's a target on her back, and it's possible that Matt would be or Daredevil would be coming for her?
I mean, you know, there must be consequences, and I think she knows it. Um, I feel like Vanessa is such a interesting character because she does everything for love and to protect everything that she has. At the same time, the it's very questionable um, what she decides to do eventually. Uh, yeah, I guess it's like us and trash. We keep throwing trash some other place, right? Another country, the ocean, but it's gonna float back. So,
Like that. What do you relate to most about Vanessa, if anything?
when I started reading this season, I was actually a little taken back by the sense of power and what it seemed like um, chasing power, chasing greed, um, and darkness overcoming light, which I always thought she's a character full of light that's slowly and gradually becoming darker and darker, right? She starts white, her clothes are white. um and so when I came to this season, I had to find like a new way to attach myself emotionally to this person. But I found a way, and once I did, the journey was really interesting for me because it comes from the same place. It's just that the choices are becoming more and more extreme because the situation becomes more and more extreme. Um, so there's a sense of destiny and chasing destiny, and so it's actually, I don't know, I love it.
Aside from some, physical action down in a dungeon somewhere, we don't see too much, in terms of like hand-to-hand combat or anything else. Is that the kind of thing you would like to see for Vanessa to
No,
really
I
get in
don't
on some
see her
fight
that.
scenes?
We always joke that there's no pants in her closet. She's very feminine, and she uses brain power in order to manipulate. I think her power obviously is the fact that she's really honest. She senses honesty within people, and she understands and deeply understands what drives people, and how much they will be willing to pay for what they want. So she knows how to sell. In a way, she's a salesperson, but um, in a like from a psychology point of view. Yeah,
Well, you mentioned the comics, which make me think you have
definitely
some.
no battle and no.
Yeah,
But I mean, it's gonna go places in the second season, so it's gonna be interesting.
I'm excited. I don't want to get anyone in trouble for, saying things
No,
we
no, I
shouldn't
know, I
say
know.
about
I'll get in trouble
season
as
two.
well.
But in terms of the greater, Marvel Cinematic Universe and just the world of Marvel Comics, do you feel like you would love to see more of Vanessa interacting with any specific character or team or villain, anything like that?
I mean, I always complain that I don't have girls to to play with. Me and Deborah are good friends, and Margarita became a friend of mine as well. And we keep saying I wish we had scenes together. And with Margarita, I had a little bit, as a shrink, but and also later on, I can't say much, but yeah, I would love to play a little bit with Deborah and the girls. I love the thing is that Vincent is such a powerhouse, and I love him, and we're really good friends by now, and I think he's a phenomenal actor, and also I love him as a human being. Um, yes, but so I can't complain, but I would love to play with some women as well.
I know that you are in another show this season, which I feel like has to be very, very different as experience from this one, The House of David. This is comic book drama that's biblical. What is it like? I know this isn't your first time in that kind of era. What is it like doing that kind of series?
It's really interesting because it's a bit classical. I mean, it demands a bit of a different, like, both of them are stylized, which is kind of theatrical in my point of view. Theatrical, not big, to say not big, but theatrical meaning classical. There's something profoundly s- strategic, strategic in the layout of the character, So in a way, it's very, very different, but also there's stylized. It's not stylized, so it's kind of the same. But I love that show because again, it's a really interesting character, a woman who has to do some nasty things in order to protect everything she's got, her family, her children. So in a way, it's almost similar in that aspect. Only the only difference is that I think she's more like a lioness rather than Vanessa, who is more like a lion tamer. She's very smooth and gentle, and the other character is like tough and, somebody who came from a very low place, a villager, a farmer, and became a queen, So that's a different, she's her background is definitely very different.
I also watched you a few years ago in a series called Losing Alice, which was its own sort of, stylized head trip. Do you like doing, these limited series that really are just so character driven, or do you feel like you enjoy something that's part of a greater kind of universal mythology?
I love all if they're well written, but I do love the genre of a bunch of episodes stuck together, which really form like a long film. Let's say maybe it's like a 4 hour movie that we used to go see. Um, Maybe us, not us, but a little bit back in the day, with really long development of character and a very nicely carved out journey for the character. I think that brings something very unique for the actor to chew. Is really interesting and fun to do. And you get time to dive in into the drama, where I think in a movie, you have to just like dive in quickly and know the character quickly, but there's a little bit of time to introduce yourself to the character and investigate the things through the scenes that are developing and the story. So I kind of like that, I have to say. And also, to be honest, I'm not a marathon runner. I'm more like a sprinter. So I like the idea of doing something and then bye.
I know you were also part of the beginning of Shtisel, which is a show that has taken, some time to get here to the US, but it just has its own very popular fan base. I'd be curious about the Shtisel Daredevil, overlap in terms of I think there are definitely people who do like both.
I don't think so. I don't see how they overlap, but whatever. Yes, Giselle was fun. It's such a strange thing. We've done that show not thinking that it's gonna get anywhere and not a lot of people are gonna watch it, um but somehow we got to Netflix and then it was introduced to a lot of people, and I think what's working for that show particularly is it's um it's telling a story with a lot of love to the characters. We are really loving them because they're so first of all, we all connect to the idea of family, and so it deals with family and love and lost, at least at the beginning where I'm in. But it also it just it tells a story of beautiful people, you know. So I think sometimes we miss that. We just want to see nice, good people dealing with life because we see them as us and us as them. So that was something that was not great to do, fun to do, but also I was very happy when it sort of blew up and a lot of people started watching it on Netflix.
Well, while we wait for season two of Daredevil Born Again, do you have anything else coming up that you can share?
No, I've been working on second season of House of David and second season of Daredevil back to back. Both of them with intense seasons and intense arc for my character, so it's going to be fun.
Wonderful. And what are you watching on TV? What have you seen recently that's really stuck with you as great?
I started watching Sirens, which I thought was really great. I love those characters and the actresses playing them. It was fun and weird and I watched, what else did I watch? I watched um oh, The Studio, which was fun and funny. Uh I'm waiting for Silo. I'm one of Silo's I really like sci-fi and fantasy. So I'm waiting for that next season. Yeah, that's it.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for taking some time to speak with me today and looking forward to season two of both these shows.
Yes, thanks a lot.